Alright, so just while you're there, hope your eyes are gently closed, and I just want you to really feel through your body for a moment. Like maybe start at the head or the feet, whichever. Maybe start at the head, so we're doing the same thing. And just come down and come and just check that the neck is completely comfortable. So move your head around so you can find that spot where your head and neck just feels like it can melt into the mat. And take deep breaths, let your body just take as many deep breaths as it needs to. And come into your shoulders, and just again, just wiggle any little bits of tension, any tightness, any place that you're subconsciously holding sometimes we just subconsciously hold some tension or hold some stress in our shoulders. So just let that go now. And let that just travel up your arms and into your fingers, so there's no effort. You're just literally giving your limbs to the earth to hold, to support. Let your fingers gently curl upwards. And again, if your body just suddenly takes a deeper breath, let that happen. And then bring your awareness into your chest and do the same thing. Just relax the chest, the diaphragm, and let that travel down your spine and into your hips. And see if there's anything that can be let go of in the hips, the pelvis, and then down the thighs. And just see again if there's anything you're just holding a bit tightly without even realizing, and just let it all melt. And let that melting go right down into your toes, into your heels. Let your toes just fall out, the heels are slightly in. And see if it helps to bring the feet out a little bit wider. Does that help you melt a little bit more? Just see. And again, notice the breathing. Chances are you're taking a few much deeper breaths. So be aware of that movement of your belly and your breath. Lovely. And now we're just going to spread the fingers and toes. So bring these small movements. So you expand, spread all the fingers, stretching across the palms, spread the toes, and then just let them relax again. It's almost like it's a breathing pattern. So as you inhale, your fingers spread, and your palms and your toes all spread, and then as you exhale, they all just relax again. And inhale, spread everything so that have this movement match your breath. We're just starting to get our bodies and breath matched here, working in sync. Take another inhale, expand the hands, the fingers, and again relax it. Excuse me. Alright, bring the feet together. Take the arms overhead and give yourself a long stretch. And then just lift the right knee up into the chest. Interlace the fingers and put them on top of that shin and press the right knee towards your right armpit. At the same time, you're stretching your left leg away and you're stretching your left heel away and your left toes are pointed up to the ceiling. And you can feel a little hip crease pinch in your right hip crease as you press that knee towards your armpit, just to the side of the rib cage. And then release the pressure on the shins and extend that leg straight up. And chances are, at this time of the morning, it's not going to come very close to you, and there might be a little bit of a bend in the knee, because if you're anything like me, you're literally in bed 15 minutes ago. So just gently press that probably bent leg a little bit towards you, just to start that stretch off into the back of the leg. And then release the grip of your interlaced fingers and slowly lower that leg all the way down to the ground, mindfully. And then take an inhale and bring the left knee into the chest, interlace the fingers again, and this time pressing the left knee towards the left armpit, to the side of the rib cage. The right leg is pushing away, the right heel is pushing away, and the right toes are pointed to the ceiling. And again, just a little bit of pressure on that left shin to press the knee a bit closer to your armpit. Feel that pinch. You might feel it in the hamstring, you might feel it in the hip crease. And breathing. And then release the pressure and take that left leg all the way up. And again, we're probably not going to be very flexible at this stage. So just gently draw that thigh bone towards you, interlace the fingers behind the thigh, draw it in. There's a bend in the knee, that's okay. And then release the grip from behind the thigh. Let the left leg slowly float back to the ground. And again, take both your arms overhead. Give yourself a long stretch. And we're going to take a little banana asana here. So just kind of walk, shuffle your feet over to the right, and then take your hands, arms over to the right, so that your whole body is kind of like in a smiling shape, in a banana shape. And see if you can take it another millimetre or so, more to the right with your feet and your hands. Let's take a breath here. And then slowly walk the feet and the hands back to centre, and then take them the other way, over to the left, feet and the hands. Smiling the other way with your body. Okay, and then coming back to centre, reaching away. And bring the knees, both knees into the chest. Taking hold behind your thighs, just below the knees. And press the knees into the chest. And then press the chin down onto the chest. And rock from side to side. And now we're going to take that rocking motion forward. So you kind of just pull the knees into the chest and lift the hips off. And then start that rocking forward and back. And take your time to get up. So if you want to take a few complete rock and rolls all the way up, just be mindful not to go too far back on your neck. So you can come up to the shoulders and then find your way up to seated. Find a cross-legged or other seated position, whatever is comfortable for you. And then let's take some shoulder rolls here. So take the shoulders up and back. And up and back. And now let your right ear just fall to the right shoulder. And reach that arm away, the left arm. Take your right hand on the head. And feel that little stretch into the side of the neck there. And then bring the hand round to the chin, the cheek, and lift it up. And let your head drop to the other side. So your left ear just falls towards your left shoulder. And then your right arm comes out and your left hand just gently places on the head. And then release that right hand and bring the left palm to the cheek and bring it up. And just let your head come down and then roll it off to the right. And come down again and roll it off to the left. And then if it feels okay, you can slowly take it all the way back. But really be slow and mindful, being kind to your neck at this time of the morning, and do one more that way. And then take it to, when your chin is back to centre, take it to the other direction, very slowly, not being in a hurry with your neck rolls. So that's one for me, so let's do one more. Lovely, and then just bring the head up. Bring the left foot out to the side, so your right foot is still in. Bring your left hand on top of your left leg and take your right arm up and over and just reach over towards that foot. It doesn't need to get anywhere near it. It's just a lovely side stretch here. And reach a bit further. And then come forward and just reach forward for a moment. And see where you go. And then walk the hands over towards that extended leg and reach and just stretch yourself over that leg. Come back center, one more time down. And then walking back and swapping sides. So bringing that right foot out and bringing that left leg in. Reaching up in the body and then taking your left arm up and over. Pulling that top arm back. And then reaching a little bit more. Oh. And then just letting that top hand come down. So you're taking a forward fold here. Reaching forward. And then moving the hands over to that extended leg. So one hand on either side of the extended leg. And bend forward. And then coming back. Lovely. Righty. Let's walk back up. Bring our feet together. Soles of the feet touching. Take hold of the top of the feet and press the knees away while trying to reach the crown of the head upwards. So we're trying to find length into the spine while pushing our knees closer to the ground. And then we'll just give our knees a little hand for a moment. So we're just going to press one knee away. And that knee is going to fight back. So as you're pressing into the knee's pushing back. So just see how that feels as you've got resistance on both sides. And then release it and take it to the other side. Press that knee away and that knee fights back or resists. Maybe fight's not a great yogic word. It holds its own. Okay. Alrighty. Now let's just come cross our ankles and roll over into our tabletop. We all know cats and cows here, so let's just take a couple of those, and you guys know that you're going to do them with your own breath. So you inhale as you lift the hips, let the belly move towards the floor, open the chest and look up. And then exhale, tuck the tailbone under, arch the spine, push the floor away, send the shoulders to the ceiling and look under the body to the navel. And then again. Inhale, let the tailbone lift, let the belly scoot towards the ground, and let the chest open and look up. And again, tuck it under, push the floor away. Really feel into your spine. Now, I'm going to give you the time just to do a couple more with your own breath, but I want you to really be curious and mindful of how your spine feels today. So really feel into it, take it slowly, and if there's any bits of your spine that feel like they need a little bit more attention, just hold it there for a moment. Maybe it feels really good just holding your cat. Maybe you've got some little bit of tension in the middle of the back. So just work into it and work it through. Press into it, breathe into it. And then when you're done, your next cat, find your way back to a tabletop. We're going to tuck our toes under and just lift our knees 1 centimetre. So inhale and lift the knees a centimetre. Hold it there. And release it. And take a breath. We're going to do that one more time. And you're either going to just stay there with the knees lifted, or if you want the extra challenge, we're going to lift one leg at a time. So lift the knees off 1 centimetre, and then if you want the challenge, this is pretty intense, so don't worry if you don't do it. lift one knee in, trying to keep the other knee still just a centimetre off the ground. And then when you've done one, try the other. And then release. Deep breath. Let's kick our hips up now. Come into our downward facing dog. So walking your heels in your dog. Again, just working out the back of the legs there. To lift, bend one knee a lot, press the other heel into the ground. Maybe hold it a breath, and then change sides. Bend the other leg a lot. Press the first heel into the ground. And then press both heels down towards the ground, but while also finding that length in the spine, so tilting the hips up to the ceiling, opening the chest to the ground. And now we're just going to come forward into a plank. Release the knees immediately if you want to, otherwise hold in your plank. And by releasing the knees, I mean just literally just lowering the knees into a half plank. Otherwise, hold your full plank. And now pushing back. We're going to walk to the top of the mat. And then hold our ragdoll. Find yourself at the top of the mat. And again, release completely. Take hold of the elbows, swaying from side to side. Letting the head go. Again, micro softness in the knees. And then release the arms. Let them clunk on the ground if that's where they reach. If they don't reach the ground, it's fine, doesn't matter. Okay, now let's just roll up the spine. But I want, again, be mindful. So first off, clench your abdominals, engage your abdominals, and then start using those abdominals to roll up the vertebrae one at a time. Shoulders and head are still hanging heavy. Torso come all the way up. Let the shoulders roll back. Take the arms up the side of the body in a circle and lift up onto your tiptoes. You're going to hold this little tiptoe balance, and now just check out where your shoulders are. Bring them back down. Because chances are they're pulling up into the ears. Holding your tiptoe here, tiptoe balance. And then releasing it down. Release the arms. Bring your right arm to your left shoulder. Take your left arm back. And now take a moment to square the hips to the front. And then take a little twist. Looking down the left arm, down where the left fingers are pointing. But trying to keep the hips still kind of towards the front as much as possible. And then bring that all the way back around and change sides. Bring the left hand to the right shoulder. Take that right shoulder back. The hips are still square into the front. Looking down the right arm to where the fingers are pointing. And then coming back to centre. I'm just going to face you guys, but you can stay where you are. So we're just going to do a side bend here. So arms up again. And take it over to the left. Lovely lateral stretch. And then inhale as you come up. And exhale over to the other side. And then inhale back to centre. And at the top of your mat, you're just going to exhale from all the way down to a forward fold. And then come up halfway, so hands to shins. Head reaching forward. And then exhale. Bend the knees a lot. Bring the stomach and the chest onto the thighs. So knees are quite bent here. And then sweep all the way up back to standing. Just side on, so you can see. We're going to do 2 more of those. So exhale all the way down. And then bring the hands to the shins and find that halfway lift. And then exhale, bend the knees a lot. Plant the stomach and the chest on the thighs and the knees. And then bring the arms up and find your way back to standing. One more time. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale to a halfway lift. Pressing those shins away again. And then bending the knees a lot, planting the stomach and the knees on the chest, thighs and the front of the stomach on the thighs and the chest on the knees. And then again, big inhale and come all the way up. And I'm going to sit down into a chair. So just come into that invisible chair position. So you're reaching forward, looking where the fingers are pointing, sitting yourself back into that invisible chair. And just remembering here that there's a tendency to push our bottom out. We don't want that, and we don't want to tuck too much under either. We want that straight back. See how you go there. And see if there's any more sink to be had. Can you bring your bottom a bit closer to your invisible chair and lift the toes. And then exhale all the way into a forward fold. One more halfway lift. And again, exhale. Bring the hands to the mat. Step your right foot back into a long lunge. And let your left arm twist up into your open twist, reaching. And then bring that down. We're going to take the twist the other way. So I'm going to have my back towards you for a moment. But bring your weight into your left hand and open your right arm. It feels a little bit more awkward than the other way. And then release that back down. Let your right knee lower to the ground and lift up into your crescent lunge. Then bring the shoulders back. Open the chest. So the shoulders are in the cactus arms, they're at 90 degrees. Bring them back. Pull the chest open a bit more. And then release it. Hamstring stretch. Just pull back. Take a little stretch into the back of the hamstring. And then release that foot. Lift that back leg. Hands on either side of the top foot. And find your plank again. Alright, so your options here, if anyone's feeling powerful and wants to do Chaturanga Dandasana, and you go ahead, I'll leave you to it. I'm going to do the modified version for a moment. So if you're coming with me, drop the knees, wrap the upper arms in, lower the chest into the ground, take an inhale, come into your cobra, uncurling the feet, top of the feet, pressing into the mat, and just a gentle lift into the torso. And then push back onto the knees, tuck the toes under, use the core to lift yourself back into your downward facing dog. Let's let the right leg lift all the way up, striking the right heel on the ceiling, and then opening the hip and letting that right leg come behind. Now, this time we're going to step this right leg back to a lunge. So first off, extend the leg back up, and then bring that knee under the body and step it through to the top of the mat. Come up for a moment into your high lunge, and from high lunge we're going to lean the body forward, so we're on a diagonal, and then step back into our invisible chair. Bring the left leg back up, and then come all the way up. And exhale, hands to heart center. Take a breath here. Take the arms up on the inhale, and exhale all the way down. Inhale into a long flat back. And exhale, forward fold. Hands come to the mat. Step the left foot back as far as it'll go. And then take your open twist. So the right arm will lead the way. Twisting towards your bent knee, pushing your back heel away. And then bring that hand back down, that right hand, bring the weight into that right hand, and lift the left arm up to your twist the other way. And then release that hand. Just lower that back left knee, lift up into your crescent lunge. And again, bend in the elbows so they're at cactus arms and gently pulling them back, opening the chest. And then releasing the hands down, pushing back into your hamstring stretch. And then releasing that foot back, lifting the left knee, hands on either side of the right foot, and again find your plank. So again, it's your option here. You can drop the knees into half plank, and from here again, if you want to take knee, chest, chin all the way down, do that, or a little bit harder, wrap the upper arms in, come down to half plank or low plank, and then either drop yourself all the way down and into cobra, or halfway down and then come up into up dog. Inhale, lift yourself back into your downward facing dog. Let your left foot lift all the way up, striking it to the ceiling, and then open that hip back to the side. Scorpion tail. And then close it back down again. Extend that leg back up, and this time it's this left foot that's going to come all the way through into the top of the mat. Bring it under the body, and then step it through. If you need to help it, that's fine. And come up into your high lunge. First off, we're in high lunge, then we're going to lean forward on a diagonal, and then this is when we're going to bring that right foot in into our invisible chair. And lift all the way up. Exhale, hands to heart center. Alright, take a breath here. Let's take the arms up. Let's come forward on an exhale. Lift into your halfway lift. Inhale. And exhale, forward fold. Hands come to the mat. Step the right foot back. Lift up into your high lunge. We're going to take a little prayer twist here. Bring the hands to prayer. Twist the whole torso towards your left leg. And then take your right elbow outside that left knee. And gently take your little twist here. Press that back heel away. And then release that. Come back up into your high lunge. Hands come to the ground. Step back. And take your little vinyasa here. So get down however you want to get down. And come up into your cobra or your up dog. And then back to your downward facing dog. Excuse me. We're going to step, excuse me, we're going to step the right foot forward. Come up into our high lunge. Again, twist on this side, so bring our hands to heart center. Turn yourself towards your right knee. Bring your left elbow outside the right knee and take a little turn here. Take a little twist. And then back to center. Back into high lunge. Plant the back foot. Find your warrior two. Torso straight up. Front heel is bisecting the back foot. Gently looking over the fingers that are above the bent knee. And then let your elbows come onto that knee and take the other arm overhead. Long side angle stretch. And then back to warrior two. Reaching that front arm, palm up, reach it forward, and then come back into our reverse warrior. Back hand can be on the leg or wrap around the back. Open the chest up. And then back to our warrior two. Let's straighten that front leg. Push the hip to the back of the room, reaching forward. A little bit of softness in this knee here. And then windmill. Triangle. And now let's come up. We're going to just come all the way back now. This is still kind of reversed, but with the legs straight. Back to centre. Bring both feet forward. Pigeon toe the feet a little. Hands on the waist. Inhale, look up, and as you exhale, come down. Again, stop halfway. Some softness here in the knees, but the kneecaps are lifted through the quads. Reset here. Try and keep that long, flat back. And now continue with your bend. Going all the way down as far as is good for you. Bring the hands to the mat. And then just see where you are. And breathe into your stretch here. Make any little adjustments you need to make. See if the weight will just come a little bit more forward into the front of the feet. If it's better, if it feels better for you, put more bend into the knees. And then come back up into your long flat back. Bring the heels in so the knees are pointing out and find your goddess squat here. And let's do our 10 pulses with the knees back. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 and lift up. And I'm just going to take warrior 2 on the other side. So your knees bend. So you've got the other side going on here. Again, front heel, biceps, the back foot. Torso's in the middle, arms are at shoulder height. Gaze is over the fingertips above the bent knee. Hold it here. And then let your elbow come onto that knee and come into your side angle. Reaching away. See if those hips will sink a little bit more. And then back to warrior 2. Reach that front palm up, forward and back into our reverse warrior. And back to warrior 2. Straightening that front leg, not completely locking the knee out. A little bit of softness in that knee still. Push the hips to the back, reach forward, and then find your triangle, Trikonasana. Trying to get those shoulders stacked on top of each other into a north and south of the arms. Gaze can be down, up, front. And now let's swing back up and come all the way back. Keeping a little bit of softness in that front knee. And back to centre. We said one more forward fold here. So toes are going to come in, heels are a little bit out. We're going to bring the hands to the waist, take an inhale, look up, and then again exhale. Come down halfway. Think about lifting the kneecaps, engaging the quads, keeping that length in the spine, and then continue. Coming all the way down. As far as is good for you, then let the hands come to the mat, let the head just go. More softness in the knees. Lifting the hips up to the ceiling. No tension in the neck here. Really let the head go. And then again, halfway, come up. Hands onto your face, long flat back. Heels come in, and then they come in a bit more. So we're going to sit into our malasana. So bring the hips down, bring the palms together. Pressing the knees away with the elbows. Alright, so we're going to take a little crow practice here. If you've not done crow before, then you don't need, we'll go through it. If you've done crow before and you just want to get on with it, feel free. If not, come with me. Just make sure there's some mat here, so we'll come back with it. So hands are shoulder width apart. You're going to lift the hips up, bring the feet a bit closer together, and then slightly bend the elbows so that the knees, so when you come up on the tiptoes, you can bring your knees as high up into the arms as you can, into the back of the arms. And then just kind of roll a little bit forward, so a bit more weight is in your hands. Keep the head up. And this is as much as we're doing today, if you've never done this before. And then come back and reset, and come up and again roll forward. So you're transferring your weight between your hands and feet. And I just want you to get used to that feeling of taking more weight into the hands and building up the strength in order to do that. And then one day the feet will just float up to Daisy. Then you'll cry. Okay, float that back down. Now just release yourself onto the ground. Bring your legs out wide. 25 minutes goes quick, isn't it? Okay, knees and toes pointed up to the ceiling. Just slowly, keeping that long flat back again, come forward. And don't be too worried about trying to get the head on the ground. We're more concerned about keeping the back long. Just take that to where it feels, where the stretch feels the tightest, and then breathe into it. Just going to give this a couple of breaths. Lovely. Let's walk the hands back. Bring the legs together. And we'll take a forward fold. So if you're on a bit of a slippery floor like I have, that's quite helpful. If you've got anything that, like socks or a jumper that you can use to exaggerate that, feel free to grab it. And then take the arms up. Bend the knees a lot so that when you come forward, you're planting your stomach on your thighs, and then take hold of the feet. And this is the point where you're like, oh, can I extend the knees a little bit more without the stomach coming off the thighs? And if that's possible, do that, and then just release the head into your forward fold. Pulling, if you've got hold of your feet, you're pulling the little toes towards you to flatten the soles of the feet, like you're standing on the ground. And release it, and then just hold your breath. Oh, don't hold your breath, so take a few deep breaths here. Never hold your breath. If we're not breathing, then we're not healing, so the breath has got to keep going. And after a couple of breaths, you might find there's a little bit more give in the back of the legs, and you can go a little bit further. Or not, it doesn't matter. Just see where you are today. And now just lift the head, look up, reach the arms forward and come all the way up. Bring the hands behind you, get your feet off anything slippery, and then lift up into your reverse tabletop. And then release the hips down. Okay, so let's come down to the mat now. I'm going to take one hip lift here, one bridge pose, so hands along the side of the body, palms facing down. Take an inhale, push the heels into the ground, and lift the hips up. Keep pulling or drawing the hips up. You can walk the shoulder blades together and interlace the hands underneath you, or just leave the arms along by the side of the body. Press up, press up. And then come up onto the tiptoes. And release. Roll the spine back down to the mat. Take the knees into the chest. Rock from side to side. Plant the hands back down. Bring the hands under the buttocks. Bring the feet legs to 90 degrees. Stay here or come into your half or your full shoulder stand if you would like to do half and full shoulder stand. But if this is where you're staying today, this is perfectly fine. And just breathing. Just going to hold this for a few more breaths. Okay, so if you're in your full or half shoulder stand, start to come out now. Just join us back here in our 90-degree legs. And now we're all going to lower our legs slowly to the count of 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5. So you're about halfway now. 4, 3, 2. Hover at 1 for just a moment. And then release the heels. Bring the knees up, point to the ceiling again so you can release your hands from underneath you. And then bring the knees into the chest. Take the arms to the side of the body, palms facing down. Let the knees fall over to the left. And the gaze falls to the right. If you want to place a hand on that top knee, or if you even want to extend that top leg or both legs, that is your option. Lovely. Just breathe in here. And now releasing the feet if you've got hold of them. Taking an inhale to draw the knees back up and the gaze back to centre, and then let it all go the other way. Dropping the knees off to the right, gaze goes to the left. And again, you can extend or press on that top leg or extend it. Shoulders stay in contact with the ground. Okay, I'm going to move into a relaxation for a couple of minutes in a moment. If you do want to, if you're feeling a bit chilly where you are, feel free to put some clothes on, some socks, a jumper, or get a blanket. If you have a bolster, you can put it under your knees. Anything that makes you feel a bit more comfortable for your relaxation. Okay, let's take an inhale, bring the knees and the gaze back to centre. And then we're going to mindfully and slowly lower the feet down to the corners, or a bit wider than the edges of the mat. Arms by the side of the body somewhere, palms facing up, eyes gently closing. And again, bring your awareness into your body. Feel through your body again and release any areas that you're holding some tension. Could be the neck, the jaw, the shoulders, the upper back, hips, wherever it is. Just wiggle it out, release it. And again, let your limbs, your torso just drop into the ground, melt into the ground. Your body will probably want to take a really deep inhale and exhale right about now, so let that happen as you release into the ground. Okay, so we're going to do 2 minutes here. Just relax and release. Let your breathing come slower and deeper. And let any tension drain out of you. Make sure it turning into liquid and just draining out of your muscles, draining out of your bones, draining out of your blood. And falling through the layer of skin and into the ground. Let your breath come a little bit slower. If your mind wants to float away, let it float away. So start to bring yourself back. Awareness back into your body. Be aware of the ground beneath you. When you're ready, take a long stretch. Arms overhead, feet together. Then roll over to your right hand side for a moment before finding your way back to seated. Taking your time, no hurry. And it's all neat in our seated meditation. Just close your eyes for another moment or so. And again, just bring your awareness into your spine and let the spine grow a bit taller. And so we're going to close our practice by bringing the arms up the side of the body, inhaling them together. And at the top of the breath, palms and fingertips find each other. And as you exhale down the midline, you're going to open the eyes, just as the hands pass by. Bring the hands to prayer at your heart center. And that's us done for today. Thank you for joining me. Namaste.